Welcome to Leadership and Ethics, the fourth topic in the management series of our Fast Dash MBA course. So, let's begin. Here are the basics behind leadership and ethics. Essentially, it's a psychological course, but different from organizational behavior. As always, make sure to download the worksheets we've provided for you so you can begin to develop a basic understanding of these terms. There's a ton of valuable information to take away from this course because an MBA program is geared at making you an all-around effective leader. One of the best ways to do this is by being in charge of a group of people, or in this case, taking the leadership role in your small group projects. As a U.S. Marine veteran, leadership was one of the most important qualities they taught us, which I'll be discussing more about my experience towards the end of this video. Understanding the why of leadership and ethics. Firstly, they're combined because they complement each other very well. So looking here at the first bullet point, social influence is just the ability of a person to enlist the aid and support of others in the accomplishment of a common task. Next, we're examining individuals and teams and how they need guidance making decisions, designing, structuring, and building leverage. Lastly, organizations are all about establishing norms of practices, distinctly distributing work, and being analytical to overcome challenges. So what's the purpose of leadership and ethics? Every company needs a leader with a vision. So it's about getting you to that next level where you're able to effectively manage, influence, and lead your team to victory. A great leader is able to take ordinary people and get them to do extraordinary things. Remember that one sentence because every MBA program will take it and teach it to you in different ways. Here are some of the main takeaways as a part of your leadership and ethics course, from managing performance, conflicts, and culture to managing teams or designing cutting-edge human resources that get the best performance from your employees. Again, the ability to create extraordinary change. Straightforward, but important nonetheless. Although everyone has a different leadership style, the purpose of each one is to provide direction, implement plans, and motivate people. So the ones you're seeing here are going to be the styles that your MBA program will be covering, so make sure to keep them in mind. The first one we're looking at is autocratic, which means all powers are centralized to a dictator. Democratic or participative means social equality or what's best for everyone. Laissez-faire is basically giving an assignment to a subordinate and letting them figure it out on their own. It's about trusting your middle management team, which most entry-level management positions will take you depending on what company you work for. It's also a style that's found most commonly in startup companies. Task-oriented is about step-by-step solutions and deadlines, while relationship-oriented is about well-being, satisfaction, and building relationships. The following two slides contain some of the most common leadership traits and an in-depth definition for each of them. As we see here, we're looking at determination and drive, which the individual traits include initiative, energy, assertiveness, perseverance, ambitions, and sometimes dominance. And that individual, as you see, tends to pursue their goals wholeheartedly, work long hours, and are often competitive with others. The next one is cognitive capacity, with traits including intelligence, analytical and verbal ability, behavioral flexibility, and good judgment. These individuals are also able to formulate solutions to difficult problems, work well under stress or deadlines, adapt to changing situations, and create well thought out plans for the future. Here we have self-confidence, sociability, and integrity. Self-confidence and integrity are self-explanatory, and I personally like sociability because I don't believe it's often thought about from a leader. An effective leader who is sociable is a friendly individual, extroverted, tactful, flexible, and interpersonally competent. So what this means, if a leader is able to be sociable, is that not only are they socially accepted, they're able to use their diplomatic measure to solve the issues at hand and hold the ability to adapt their social persona to the current situation. As I had mentioned at the beginning of the video, leadership was at the forefront for basic training in the Marines. So here we provided the 14 leadership traits that the Marine Corps felt were the most important to instill in each and every one of us as a leader of Marines. A lot of our experience came from leading and marching a platoon through either drill or fire team patrols by calling out commands and assigning the right roles to reach our mission. Now, while many of us may not have the same experience, the concepts in all these training methods have the basic premise of what it means to be a leader. So everything considered, an effective leader is able to take charge of any situation and guide a group of small or large people by understanding their team's tendencies and behaviors to influence them to effectively complete the goal. As always, if you have any questions about anything we've covered today in this video, make sure to drop them in the comment section below and we'll get back to you as soon as possible in order to have an open discussion. We'll see you in the next video.